What if I told you eating the exact same meal at 7 a.m. versus 7 p.m. could mean the difference between building muscle or storing fat, between mental clarity or brain fog, between longevity or metabolic disease? I have analyzed thousands of patient metabolic profiles for more than 2 decades, and the single most overlooked factor isn't what you eat, it's when you eat. Today, I'm revealing the precise timing protocols that can reprogram your metabolism at the cellular level. Your body operates on a 24-hour master clock that controls everything: insulin sensitivity, growth hormone release, cortisol patterns, mitochondrial function, and even DNA repair mechanisms. Most people eat randomly throughout the day, completely out of sync with these biological rhythms. The result? Chronic metabolic dysfunction, accelerated aging, and disease. But when you align your eating with circadian biology, something extraordinary happens. Your body becomes a precision metabolic machine. Here is the critical insight: insulin sensitivity fluctuates by up to 50% throughout the day. Your muscles are most receptive to glucose in the morning and progressively less so as day continues. The same carbohydrate meal at 8 a.m. would fuel muscle glycogen, would shunt straight to fat storage at 8 p.m. This isn't theory, this is reproducible, measurable cellular biology. When you eat against your insulin circadian rhythms, you are literally reprogramming metabolic dysfunction at the cellular level. Between 6 and 10 a.m., your body enters into what I call the anabolic window. Your cortisol is naturally high. Not the stress cortisol, but the metabolic cortisol that mobilizes energy and heightens insulin sensitivity. The growth hormone, which peaked during sleep, is still elevated. Testosterone is at its daily maximum. Mitochondria are primed for maximum ATP production. This is your body's natural performance enhancing state. So, in the morning, eat within 2 hours of waking up to align your peripheral clocks with your master clock. When you eat beyond 2 hours, you are creating a circadian misalignment, a state associated with insulin resistance, weight gain, and accelerated aging. Now, let's look at the macronutrients which we have discussed in previous videos. Proteins and healthy fats in the morning. 30 to 40 grams of protein in the morning maximizes muscle protein synthesis, because at that time your mTOR sensitivity is at the highest. When you include healthy fats that support hormone production. But make sure that you are minimizing carbohydrates unless you are training, to save carb tolerance for when you need it. The physiology behind this is morning protein consumption upregulates BMAL1 and clock genes that strengthens your circadian rhythm for the entire day. This single meal can improve your insulin sensitivity for the next 24 hours. Between 12 and 2 p.m., your insulin sensitivity remains robust, but your growth hormone start declining. This is called metabolic maintenance window, designed to provide your body with steady energy without storage. This is when your body can handle moderate amount of carbohydrates if you choose to include it, because your muscles are still receptive and your liver glycogen can be topped up without lipogenesis, that is the fat storage. Eat lunch 5 to 6 hours after breakfast. This allows complete gastric emptying, full nutrient absorption, and optimal inter-meal fat oxidation. Eating sooner creates metabolic overlap, incomplete digestion, elevated insulin, and impaired fat burning. The metabolic advantage you get by spacing out meals: you spend 3 to 4 hours between meals in fat burning state. Your mitochondria switch from glucose burning to fat burning, improving metabolic flexibility. That's the hallmark of optimal metabolic health. After 6 p.m., your metabolism shifts fundamentally. The insulin sensitivity decreases by 30 to 50%. Melatonin starts rising, signaling cellular repair mode, and your growth hormone starts preparing for its nighttime peak. This is not a good time to have a heavy meal or carbohydrate meal because your body is transitioning from energy utilization to energy saving and repair. So make sure you finish your final meal of the day 3 to 4 hours before sleep. Include protein for muscle repair overnight and healthy fats. Avoid carbohydrates entirely, in my opinion, because they'll disrupt sleep architecture and growth hormone release. So, what is the circadian science behind it? Late night eating shifts your peripheral clocks out of sync with your master clock, a condition called chronodisruption. This creates internal metabolic chaos, increasing inflammation, cortisol, and insulin resistance. People who eat regularly after 8 p.m. are 3 times more at risk of metabolic health diseases like type 2 diabetes, regardless of calories consumed. The timing alone can decide the metabolic fate here. Now we reach the most powerful metabolic intervention, time restricted eating. And this isn't about starvation, it's about aligning your eating with cellular repair cycles. I recommend all my patients 16-8 protocol. That means 8 hours eating window and 16 hours fasting. But here is what most people get wrong. It isn't about duration, it's about timing. And the optimal timing for time restricted eating is 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. because this aligns with insulin sensitivity and allows complete metabolic shutdown before sleep. The benefits of fasting on cellular metabolism has been known for years, and now research has confirmed it. I would like to touch on what happens if you fast beyond 12 hours. Between 12 to 16 hours, fasting activates autophagy. That means your cells starts consuming damaged proteins, clearing cellular debris, and regenerating mitochondria, the powerhouses that generate energy in your body. Between hours of 16 to 20, the growth hormone peaks 3 to 5 times the normal levels. The fat burning peaks, and there is ketone production, which provides the premium fuel to the brain. Between hour 20 to 24, deep autophagy activates, and it also maximizes this cellular cleanup process. It also benefits your sleep architecture. If one prefers to compress the eating window to 4 to 6 hours, it has profound metabolic benefits because it improves insulin sensitivity. It also activates autophagy and activates longevity pathways. The research is clear. Fasting activates SIRT1 and AMPK and other longevity pathways that benefits people with improved metabolism and increased longevity. And no drug in this world can ever match it. Exercise can amplify or sabotage your metabolic efforts. Train at the wrong time and you are working against your circadian biology. I train every day at 6 a.m. and there is a reason for that. Between 6 and 10 a.m., that's the time for peak performance because your growth hormones is peaking at that time. And that's the time for maximum fat oxidation. Especially I exercise in fasted state. The fasted state exercise leads to maximum fat burning as well as maximum growth hormone response. And after workout, there is a 30 to 60 minutes anabolic window for metabolic health. I like to eat protein and healthy fats, but if you wish to add carbohydrates, this is the best time because your muscles are active and your insulin sensitivity is 3 to 5 times higher. and your muscles at this time will absorb glucose like a sponge. So, what are the risks with exercising after 7 pm? Exercising late means you are raising the core body temperature as well as cortisol rises, which should be declining at that time. This affects sleep onset, growth hormone release, and recovery. You may feel stronger by training at night due to accumulated glycogen, but in long term, you're affecting your recovery, adaptation, and long term metabolic health. For maximum metabolic benefit, exercise in the fasted state and have your first meal post workout within 30 to 60 minutes and compress your further eating within a narrow window. This maximizes the exercise adaptation and metabolic flexibility. Shift workers have 40% higher risk of developing obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. People traveling also show similar metabolic disruption, but understanding your circadian biology can help you minimize the damage. Let's look at the shift workers. As far as light exposure is concerned, bright light during working hours and complete darkness during sleep, regardless of time. This helps reset your master clock. As far as meal timing are concerned, eat during your biological day and fast during your biological night. If you're working nights, have your main meal before starting the work, not during. Let's look at how to protect your metabolic health if you are traveling. And there are differences if you are traveling to east or west. Let's look at if you are traveling to east. So fast during flights and eat upon landing at a local breakfast time. This rapidly resets your food and trainable clocks. If you are traveling to west, eat according to the departure time zone until arrival and then immediately switch. The key insight, whether it's travel or if you're a night shift worker, light and food timing are your most powerful circadian reset tools. Use them strategically and you can maintain metabolic health even with disrupted schedule. For those ready to master metabolic timing, I use some advanced protocols for my elite performers. Number 1, protein precision timing. 30 to 40 gram protein every 3 to 4 hours during the eating window. This maximizes muscle protein synthesis. Space evenly for optimal mTOR activation. Fat adaptation timing. Gradually extend fasting windows from 12 to 16 hours to 20 hours over 4 to 6 weeks. This allows mitochondrial adaptation without metabolic stress. Carbohydrate periodization. High carb days aligned with intense training and ultra low carb on rest days. This maximizes metabolic flexibility. As far as seasons are concerned, longer eating windows in summer due to the natural daylight exposure and shorter windows in winter. This aligns with circadian seasonal variations. Here is the master protocol: 20 to 4 intermittent fasting. Your eating window 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Exercise in the fasted state at 6 a.m. Your first meal at 7 after workout. And from 11 a.m. to next day 7 a.m. you're fasting. This enhances all metabolic pathways in the body simultaneously. These are advanced protocols and require gradual adaptation. Attempting too quickly can disrupt your sleep, hormones, and social functioning. It should be considered in consultation with somebody who is an expert in metabolic health or your doctor. Meal timing isn't about when you eat, it's about when you live. When you align your eating with circadian biology, you optimize every metabolic process in your body. Patients who master the metabolic timing not only lose weight, gain energy, but also reverse their metabolic age, prevent chronic diseases, and extend their health span by decades. This is precision medicine at the cellular level. This is how you take control of your metabolic destiny. Next week, we look at the forgotten macronutrient that controls everything. How proper hydration and electrolyte timing can amplify everything we discuss by 10 times. If today's video changed how you think about time and metabolism, please share with someone who needs to understand when you eat determines who you become. Master your timing, master your metabolism, and I'll see you next week.